Welcome to Dr. Jester Reviews, and I'm gonna review I'm gonna review Warrior Nun, Episode 1, Season 2. I'm gonna give this one a go, and if you guys like it, hey, maybe make this thing a thing. Right, but before I review it, here's my surprise.
Chosen knights. We are born of sin and crime. We are repentance personified. We are immortal. We are legend. We are God's wrath made manifest. And we know no fear.
Right, so you liked it? It's my trailer from my book. Don't forget to check it out on Amazon. Either way, let's go and review this miserable, painful thing. But, well, it wasn't that painful, really. It was the most average show I have ever seen on Netflix. Unlike the first episode, which was really good, but it had some woke moments, this one, I didn't find anything woke in it, besides the race swaps and gender swaps. Anyway, here we start 2 months later on the show after the events of the last episodes of season 1. I'm gonna be honest with you, it felt more like a year, 2 years for me. That's how it felt for me. It's I don't know, there was just too much of a break between one and the other. Holy fuck. I think, let's see, July 2020, 2021, 2020, more than 2 years since we had a release of the first season. It felt too far away between the episodes or seasons. And I'm gonna be honest, I forgot quite a few things. Right. Basically, she's the prettiest actress in the show. Alba Batista. Anyway, moving on. She's in Switzerland. And they show some nice shots here and there. And the big letters telling you, hey, it's Switzerland. And she's working on a bar, serving beers and coffee and things and people talking, and sometimes you cannot even understand what they're saying, but moving on. And then later on, I probably should have added the subtitles, because it's important. But either way, English. There you go, that probably should help you guys, right? And then she talks and talks and moves on, cleans the stuff, don't care. And then this guy shows up, a white male, which I'm surprised because it's Netflix. You do not expect white males to show up. He's either going to be gay, eventually, or he's going to be evil and will definitely get killed. I don't know if he's going to get killed, but considering the woke world we live in, there's a very high chance that this will definitely going to fucking happen. But either way, apparently, Ava gets her pants moist seeing the guy. And she gets happy and giddy, and they discuss and talk, and then she goes on to, I think it's the attic, where I admit, I actually forgot about her. She's protecting her, and she kind of looks Asian to me, but, right. She's an overachiever. She becomes a manager really fast in a month. And she's definitely protecting the other and training her, which I admit it's a good thing that at least seeing her training, like it's not like she got good in 2 months. On that, I give kudos to the writers of the show. So in that regard, well done. Right, moving on and moving on and moving on. And then she actually is supposed to be secret, and she's not supposed to be present or anything like that, or show up or show her appearance or anything like that, but she seems to disregard like that and attacked a proselytizing idiot on the street, which, suffice to say, are overwhelmingly white guys. But anyway, we move on to Spain, and I completely forgot about who she was, but at least she's one of the pretty ones, and you have a lot of absolutely butt-ugly women, even though this show is supposed to be, you know, about dominatrix nuns. Right? Details. Right, moving on, at least she has boobs. Moving on, and moving on, she goes inside, and there's the head honcho of the nun playing Facebook on the computer. I'm kidding, it's not Facebook. She's writing something. I would say porn, but right. That would be more interesting. Would make the episode slightly above average. And then they talk, and then we see Portugal. And the guy, you know, the plot twist of the first season, which was well written in my opinion, really well, especially during the apex of wokeness that we saw on Netflix. And this was a very woke show, but it was well written, so I gave it a pass. Anyway, he's walking here on the streets. You guys need to fix your cables, it's way too visible, but anyway, he's walking, and then suddenly the butt ugly Lilith, that is a race swap, shows up. I admit, I actually forgot who she was. And I even forgot how she got her powers. Hey, 2 years, well, over 2 years is a long time for the memory of an average viewer. Especially we've seen a lot of crap in between. Anyway, I really like him as an actor. He really does play his role well. Unfortunately, he's a white male, so he's evil. Anyway, they discuss something and tells her that Mary, Shotgun Mary, which is an absolute race swap to an ugly, butt ugly actress. And, it seems to be a pattern here. Butt ugly actresses, but and they decide to leave. You know, when she extended the little thingy finger here, I really was doing my damnedest to remember how she got her powers. And that's how far away it was, the episode in the past. Why isn't it changing? Right. Anyway, they go on into the next scene, they go to the Vatican, and then suddenly another butt-ugly actress shows up. And she's apparently doing something of an interview or something somewhere for a magazine. Time magazine? Well, or New York or something. It's non-consequential. Anyway, she interviews, she places her phone on the table. There's way too much representation of African bishops over here, with their little hats on their heads and things like that. Because we know this, but then again, the Pope, the woke Pope that Catholic Church has now, yeah, seems correct. Anyway, she talks and talks and talks and tries to press the guy, and then she mentions a few things that kind of supposed to be a secret, and he feels uncomfortable. He's actually a very good actor. They actually found 2 very good actors in here. Anyway, she's ugly as fuck. It's, well, not as ugly as the Little Mermaid actress, but it feels like she hit the ugly tree as she fell down off the very tall branch. But anyway, moving on. And then the guy talks, and they give leave, and she, oh, I got everything I wanted! And moving on. And then you get the actual, well, technically it's not a race swap, so that's always a good thing. But we get an actual gender swap. This was supposed to be a guy. And she's there, trying to look at the portal that sometimes pops up or downs or something of thereabouts. And I actually admit I actually forgot about the portal thingy. It took me a while to remember. And then the guy talks and talks about that she should return to her company, and that she keeps on getting hurt because she tries to apparently shove her hand or arm, but her injuries doesn't show on her hand, but only her arm. Kind of like she does this or something. I do not understand what they were doing there. But she said she sent drones, and some of them did not make it. None of them made it back, but some sent telemetry, but the telemetry were all static or something. And sorry, allergies. And apparently it's only static, and the portal shows up or appears every 6 hours or something thereabouts. Moving on. I do not care about her arm anymore. Moving on. And then she goes into the computer. At least she looks good. The guy tries to show about something that he did not understand about property, because I wasn't paying attention in this part. I was trying to remember what happened with her. See, that's why you guys don't do 2 years of difference on an average show. People will try to spend most of the time trying to remember what the fuck happened in the first season, the previous season, than paying attention to it. Right. And then she's training. She is running. At least she looks good, but you could actually have used a more revealing top. Because, you know, this is supposed to be a dominatrix nun thing. Right. She's running, and she does the Jesus walk. Well, Jesus run, and she runs, and then suddenly she fails, and she falls onto the water. Right. At least they are doing the right thing. It's showing that she's struggling on her training. This gives it a more realistic approach, not like most of the woke stuff that we get today, in which they are born knowing everything. And there is no training, and she's better than everyone, and things like that. At least they did this on Warrior Nun, so my congratulations. Well done. Kudos, guys, for doing something proper. It's always good to see things like that. Kudos. Do the training. Learn. Like she's struggling to learn and things like that. That makes it more real. So they talk with a good vista in the back and visualization, and moving on and moving on and moving on. And they talk, they keep talking, and I zone out. And then suddenly this guy shows up, and they discuss about alliances, something of thereabouts. They are both pissy at each other, and I was trying to remember a few things in here, but I forgot. And they should be alive or something of thereabouts. They were discussing, and he calls him back twice to say one last thing. But then again, they still keep on talking. She gets moist, and at least nothing woke besides the usual race and gender swaps. Surprisingly enough, nothing woke so far. I was 20 minutes. Holy moly! I was actually wondering when I was going to be bombarded about woke stuff on screen, to be preached upon about how diverse or how amazing some pride or alphabet stuff in it, but no. I was very surprised. They were discussing like normal people. Oh yeah, there was the crypto-fascist commentary and things like that. Fascism, yeah, that felt a bit off. That I actually forgot to mention on the show. They were talking about fascism. Dude, fascism is socialism. In fact, it's socialism with government and corporations colluding between itself and creating socialism. That's what fascism was. Socialism with a capitalist veneer. That's the best definition that you get. Or a fake quoting of capitalism. Anyway, they talk, and then they... Oh, finally, the subtitles showed up. I actually forgot that they existed for a moment. They talk on the phone, and then suddenly... and then they church, and the official position... the Vatican has... Oh yeah, the Adriel, the demon angel thingy, is trying to show up. And they are trying to hide it, and they are... they don't want to show up that they know anything at all, and things like that. And the OCS is the Order of the Cruciform Sword, or something of thereabout. I even forgot about the name of the order. Hey, I've never read the comics. Anyway, they go on, and then suddenly she gets happy because she managed to hack their positions. She gets so giddy. And you look at the laptop, it's the generic UI that you find on those TV shows, generic UI for TV shows on laptops and things like that. You even see the map spinning, and it's so generic that doesn't offer any information whatsoever, with text so small that you can actually even read, and makes no sense. So, generic UI type of deal. With an ugly ass bitch. Right, I don't remember about this one, and they go on, and then suddenly there's a car. Which is... Ah, right. They go to the supposed hidden position of where Mari is. And she gets in, and then there is the scene in which she's celebrating something of a party in the restaurant, and I have absolutely no idea what it was because I wasn't paying attention. I was trying to remember what happened. Right, they get in, and they see a nurse fallen on the ground, and she in a pool of blood. And then suddenly she walks normal again for some absolute reason. She's using the cane, but... Right. And then a lot of dead nuns. But for some reason, we haven't seen who caused the death yet. So, it's a surprise. And then she's celebrating, and she finally experiences alcohol, and... They take a shot, which is a tasting of a lemon, but they take it all at once instead of savoring it. I would have savored it. Right, moving on. She's an alcohol virgin, but she looks Asian. Don't ask me. Very Asian. Probably need to actually add 2 race swaps on my list, but anyway, I'll do later. And then suddenly they spot the white guy that the main character is getting all her underoos wet. and he's stalking someone, and then suddenly she follows him and finds the guy being beaten by the fascists. Yeah, the show was pretty clear on that one. And he's even wearing one of those Hitler Youth clothing. Yeah, I noticed that one. If you know history, you're gonna notice it's Hitler Youth clothing. Anyway, that's the woke moments that we realize, because white supremacists are so far and so few, because, yeah, nobody likes these idiots. But anyway, they need to sell the idea that there's a racism everywhere. So anyway, he's bitten and she comes to his rescue, but at least it felt more natural. She struggled a little bit, but she managed to hit the guys. And in fact, I want to go and emphasize this. The battle, the actual fight felt more real than the actual fight of Morphid Clark. I think that's her name. Or something of thereabouts of Rings of Power. Rangs of Power. It felt more real, more tangible. It felt like she was actually hitting them. It felt like she was fighting. The people who did the fight scene here should actually work for Ranks of Power to fix the garbage that we saw. It felt so goddamn fucking superficial, that garbage of Ranks of Power. Right. This one felt very good. Very, very good. So for an average episode, it felt very good. Well done, Netflix. Well done. The fight scene felt very real in that one. Albeit, I'm gonna be honest with you, for dominatrixy nuns really look really bad. Right, and they talk and then they suddenly leave, and they were supposed to be secret and she leaves, but then suddenly the guy follows them and right, I zone out in this bit, and they talk and then suddenly they go and she says she should be together, but anyway, and they go on and they notice the little lights keeps on disappearing on the globe. That was supposed to be where the order is, and surprisingly enough, there's one in Seattle, and it's very funny because it's a woke city. And then they get in the car, I zone out, and they keep on looking at the people that stalking what they're doing, and they keep on going, and then suddenly they still in the car, and they just keeps on going. And then going, and they talk. I zone out because I was not paying attention in here. Yeah, it's difficult to pay attention when you try to remember what happened in the previous season. Right, and they start talking here. What the fuck happened? Where the OCS? They keep on mentioning OCS because it's actually easier to say than the order of the cruciform sword. That they are all falling and that they are still the only ones, and so the order still stand if there are two still left. Right, they talk and they got the documents to go on hiding, but then suddenly a little light pops up on the map from Madrid in Spain. So they go and try to go and find where that thing is. And then suddenly, god damn it. This scene happened so fast. It's trying to find the actual bit. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to. Either way. They keep on talking, and then suddenly he walks on this corridor. There you go. I found the scene. They are here on the like cage or something. Let me drink some coffee because this one needs it. Right. But she makes a mistake. Even though she is training on this order for so many years, she makes a very noob mistake. She walks in first. And then she leaves the guy behind with a cage or something. And he locks her inside. Why would you make that mistake after years of training? You never ever give your back to your enemy. But then again, the story wouldn't happen if she did that, so Either way, she's all locked outside, and he reveals that Mary is actually fucking dead, and that she died in this goddamn scene. Fuck me, why couldn't you get some hot dominatrix action in here? Right, and they see Mary, shotgun Mary died there, and then there's a bunch of enemies trying to take her, and she goes and reveals her powerful self. Ugly ass bitch. She then goes on the fight that he actually felt more real, much better than Rants of Power again. I'm surprised. And it felt meaty, the punches, the action, the blood, and the stuff all around happening felt very, very real. After watching Rants of Power, this was a very good breath of fresh air. And she fights, and she teleports all around themselves. Oh, and by the way, on the cage thing, she acts like if she is trapped in there, but she actually can teleport herself between things, so I don't know why she didn't. I went after the guy. It's some story problems in there. Right. She teleports herself in and out and between the guys. She gets shot in the arm eventually, and here, but she hits the other guy, and surprisingly enough, the only white guys apparently. See, and then here. She gets shot over here. Well, either way. Now, anyway, you see, there's only white guys. She gets shot. Suddenly she feels pain and goes after the guy. She kills him, and suddenly done. It was a surprisingly average episode. Not as good as the first episode of the season 1, but surprisingly enough, nothing woke. I do fucking hope, for the love of goddamn fucking God, they continue like this and keep the woke away and they can actually save the series. But the only thing that I'm seeing here, sensing, is that despite the race swaps that happened on the first season and all of those things, may not actually be enough to actually save the entire show. But what I like to mention it is that the time period that it happened, 2 years, will that actually affect the acceptance of the show? Will that affect the viewership, and will that effect happening on Warrior, and will that affect and cause it not to get renewed for a third season? That remains to be seen. So, if you guys like this, please leave a comment below or something like that. If this is good and well received, I may actually do the second episode. And then goddamn fucking hell, have a great fucking night.